What's up people, Jack here, welcome back to the Chill Zone, and we got a brand new I Did a Thing video that, I'm not even gonna wonder why. I mean, look at this thumbnail and tell me that this man did not just watch Indiana Jones 4 and thought, I'm gonna do that. Well, no matter the origin of his idea, let us figure out if you can actually survive a wildfire while hiding in a bath.
How you going? Check out this tree and see if you can spot something I didn't before I bought this place. It's burnt. Every single tree here is burnt. And that's real bad, as some idiot made all of them out of wood.
It's funny because I have thought that he was going to say that it's funny that some idiot built a jet-propelled swing in the woods and burned them trees, but okay.
You know what's also made out of wood? My new house. So what am I going to do if a bushfire does rip through the property?
Oh.
Or even worse, what if there are marauders? Could I survive by hiding in your normal household objects like your bathtub? Or am I just cooked?
You're cooked.
Alright, now I'm picking 3 things to attempt to survive in. And the first is the bathtub. And it makes sense if you don't think about it very hard. It's made out of steel, it's wet, and it contains space.
See, I recently reacted to a video by StyroPyro, who is also one of the insane YouTube engineers out there, or they're just all around just scientist. And the thing about him is that he has this jovial nature about him, right? He's like the least offensive looking madman out there. But I Did a Thing has this thing about him where he's always on the edge of gross and or very sexualizing. But yeah, it's funny the quirks that each and every creator have.
Interesting article published by a fire coroner that showed that around 50% of people that die in their house are located in their bathroom and even the bathtub. And I don't think that's because they were dropping their kids off at the pool when the fire came through. It's probably because it feels like the safer room filled with less flammable objects than my garage. Personally,
I would think that is quite the opposite, right? Second only to, let's say, if you have a double-decker house, right, with stairs. But besides stairs and a kitchen, I will say that the bathroom clearly is the most dangerous place to have in a house. I remember reading some stats in a what is it, Casual Geographic video? Yeah, I think it was. Of like the amount of people who died in bathrooms and compared to how many were attacked by sharks every year. And the difference is obviously staggering because there are a lot of like non-fatal injuries already happening in bathrooms. And that is the majority of the injuries that happens in households already. So when it comes to deaths, yeah, people are doing weird stuff in the bathrooms.
So I'm going to do the best case scenario and get a cast iron bathtub filled with water and then put a wet towel on top. My flawed logic here is if water filters smoke in a bong, surely it will work with a wet towel in a bath. Next we got your fridge. Well, not your fridge. I couldn't work out where you live. I'm getting the exact fridge from the Indiana Jones movie where Harrison Ford hid in it and survived a nuclear blast and then got shingles. And fridges are a pretty common movie escape trope, but I'm not sure there is anything safe about them as they are
yeah, besides the chemicals
covered in toxic plastic, have a compressor, and are usually filled with stinky fish.
Ew.
Then for all you Americans, we have a fireproof gun safe, and it's got walls made out of steel and gyprock, which is meant to insulate it and keep the temperature under 150 degrees. And this sounds a lot better than a fridge, but I don't know, as even if you don't die from the heat, unlike the guns in the safe, you need oxygen to survive. And to make this test slightly scientific, I'm going to put a thermometer in each with an oxygen and a CO2 reader, so we will know exactly how effective they are. But first, I'm going to do a small-scale test.
Oh.
And this ain't looking good for the mini bath, as after only a minute of this tiny house being on fire, the water was already boiling, but maybe it'll be different with a bigger bath. For the fireproof safe, I made this box, which is gyprock mined straight from the source, some felt, and then sheet metal. And this is pretty promising. I kept this flame against it for like 10 minutes, and the heat inside didn't go up at all.
And inside is cold.
But I don't think we learned anything from this small test, except not to give a 3-year-old a
to a small child.
Okay.
which means I need a real house to burn. Heads, I burn down this house. Tails, I need to make one.
Yes.
So the first step in building a house is getting two mates to do all the work. Dan and Liam. Dan builds houses for hippies in the mountains, and Liam is a professional architect with a YouTube channel. Mates that have different names will also work for building a house. So if anything goes wrong, we all know who's at fault. And at first I thought I'd spend $1,000 on wood, but why would I do that when I can buy a $2,500 chainsaw and then spend an hour ruining the bar to make an Alaskan mill, which allows you to turn anything wooden into more wood. You know what they say, give a man a stinky fish and he'll eat it, but give a man a chainsaw and he'll be eating stinky fish for life. But I did forget the wood of this.
Next venture. I made the world's most powerful fishing rod. That unironically sounds like something a villain would do in an anime about fishing. Funny enough, when I was younger, I watched an anime called Fisherman Senpai, I think it was called, with like a small boy who had a straw hat. And no, it's not One Piece, as I think that one was way older. But yeah, pulling out freaking... so dumb.
This tree is still very wet, and the same with the giant gum tree that fell down on the property. So this ain't gonna make good building material or burn very well. So instead we stole the neighbor's trailer and headed down to the local tip.
It's a big ass trailer.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you can't really hide in a dunny though. Maybe you could hide a baby in a dunny.
And after almost getting into a fight with a man about a hoe...
You got the hoe?
That's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
get your hoe.
Enjoy your hoe.
Oh my
We
god.
somehow got everything we needed to burn, including a Chubb fireproof safe, a fridge, and a cast iron bath, all from one tip. Unfortunately, the tip didn't have much good wood though, but we met some tradies who gave us some free concrete formwork. So then we pointed at a plan and worked out that the tradies' wood was not going to be enough. So
And nothing is going to waste. That's always a good thing. Recycle.
we also had to buy some pine for the walls and frame. And we tried to get the untreated stuff, but there is still some pretty nasty chemicals in plywood, similar to cigarettes. And I mean exactly the same as cigarettes.
Yeah. Well, except the fact that the sticker is something that you put there yourself. But yeah, I get the thing. We are actually also working in our garden at the moment and trying to build like a veranda of a sort. And because my girlfriend has like ties through her work where we kind of get pallets to put together for the veranda, a lot of it is like treated with a lot of just nasty stuff.
And we are kind of just making our own version of an IKEA burnable house, where we pre-make all the walls in the neighbor's garage and then hopefully can just walk them over and nail them in place. And the first wall looks like a floor, but that's because it's on the floor and not on the wall. Then the other walls came together perfectly.
Oh man, the European urge in me to not just start acting up as an American. And just straight up goofing. What, your houses ain't built on plywood? Ah, okay, I'ma just hang back there now.
So once we had a big stack of walls, we moved on to the floor, which we were going to make in one giant piece. And I can't tell you how long I've wanted to use one of these. Like legally, I signed an NDA and I can't. But it's my new favorite tool. And it's crazy to think that a tool company watched my hammer gun video and made a more functional version of it. And we did forget about the weight of the floor and almost made it too heavy to move. And after an hour of moving panels to the top of the hill, we realized we could have just made everything up there.
Right.
And you would think that with the combined brain power of a YouTuber, architect, and builder, that this whole build would come together smoothly. And we
Is it also there where they're going to burn it? Or are they going to move it again?
would be able to get the basics like wall dimensions right. But somehow we either stuffed up the floor or the wall. So we took it back down and weren't pissed off at all.
Pull it off. Can you hold it up?
And back down it goes. I mean, that could make for a fun little cabin. Oh no! No!
Throughout this whole building process, there was a constant feeling of everything being completely pointless. Like usually the things I make are useless, but I've never put this much effort into something whose only purpose is to be
burn.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Which resulted in Dan, Liam and I constantly arguing about what to do.
Missed.
I wanted zero effort, Liam wanted it to just stand upright, and Dan thought we were actually building him a real house. And we didn't want to break the illusion and tell him we were burning it all down, so we let him do a fancy thing called bird mouths.
Oh no. For the roofing. Ah, for fuck's sake. That's what friends are for.
On the rafters. And look, I'll tell you a secret. Some of my other subscribers have been saying some pretty nasty stuff about you. They said, Paul, you're a nice guy, but you're real stupid. And you don't know what a bird's mouth is. They also said some stuff about your sister, but we all know that's true. So Paul, a bird's mouth is this joint right here. And it's
Yeah.
for the rafters, so they sit nicely on the walls. And it makes no difference at all. But remember, Dan thinks this is actually his house.
Not correct?
Incorrect.
Incorrect. What's happened? Doesn't reach?
Well, no. Not by a long shot.
So we tried for an hour or two to make one, but couldn't even get one of them right. So we just called it a day and went fishing.
Yeah, tools down, we're going fishing.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Hey, what's the chainsaw?
And look at that. It's the sponsor of today's video,
Odoo.
Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that provides entrepreneurs like me with a range of applications to simplify the day-to-day management of their business, including invoicing, accounting, project management, website creation, and more. Click my link in the description to get started with Odoo. The first app is free for life with unlimited hosting and support. Okay, day 2, and we're back to doing bird mouths. And that worked this time. So we cut a billion.
The adventure music in the background.
Then nibbled some tin sheet before slapping that on.
How can you not know if you're circumcised, though?
I am. I just don't want to make my dad feel uncomfortable asking.
And there we go. There was only one more thing to make.
That's also a wild thing to have to ask your pa for. Dad, did you cut off the tip of my... No, son, today's not the day for that question.
Alright, let me check. Don't put the drill back in.
And now the cabin is done. But I forgot something pretty major. There might, maybe, possibly, definitely be a total fire ban. So we can't legally light it on fire. And usually I would do it anyway, but people aren't going to be happy if I set the whole area on fire while making a video about fire safety. Which means we're going to have to wait a month for the fire ban to end and also get permission from the fireman. And that's also the end of Liam and Dan. So go check out Liam's YouTube channel where he makes things slightly better than I do on his channel Morosi Makes.
I might need to get that gardening cage then, because we're in the process of wanting to build one as well for our fruits and vegetables for the rest of the year and not just summer. Yeah. Gotta protect them from the magpie.
Okay, 1 month later. It's moldy. And wet. So we're going to have to dry it out somehow.
The cabin is fairly dry now, so we waited for a non-windy night when my mates were feeling pretty hungry.
There's a chicken in there.
Yeah, there's a chicken.
Oh
Would you like to write anything nice on the walls?
no, I'd like to put that. I like to put that over here,
Tell me where you want to put it, please.
right here. A step ladder into the.
Ruins the shot.
No, it doesn't.
Also, who has a bathtub in their living room with their safe? All of this is wrong already.
Not everyone's a rich YouTuber. Some people have to live like this.
So inside the fridge, safe, and bath, I put some chickens, thermometer, and an oxygen reader. And the sensors aren't fireproof, but they don't need to be, because if they melt, we'll know it was hot.
Yeah.
And here are my predictions. The fridge chicken is going to be completely gone, bath chicken is going to boil, and I reckon the chicken in the safe might survive, but will suffocate.
Smells good. Is it going all over your feet?
Is it? Is that enough?
Oh, I see.
Scissors, paper, rock.
My dumbass was thinking that he was actually going to try and do the thing. But obviously, he's just doing that for the shot. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he actually went ahead and did it, but like...
Scissors, paper, rock.
Chili.
Hey, Julie, you got it. You got limited time.
Please.
Whoa!
And I'm not sure why we had so much trouble lighting this cabin full of petrol, so I tried again with my
Aim
favorite
higher.
content.
Molotov, okay.
Whoa! Holy.
And place your bets now on what's going to happen to me when I run into the cabin to get the intro shot of me running out. A, I get burnt. B, I find a penny. And C, I forgot that I shattered glass on the ground and cut open my foot.
Oh! The closest thing to the pain of stepping on a Lego.
Should put on the...
That's bad. That's really bad.
What?
You know what I completely forgot about?
What?
The fact that is filled with glass.
Oh!
I've got a really deep cut on the bottom.
Oh!
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty good cut.
That's a good cut.
Okay.
It's gonna
So
wear
after
shoes
patching
near.
up my foot and putting on shoes, we refilled the cabin with petrol and tried again.
Let's not get in.
Yeah.
Of course he would.
Yep, we're out. I reckon we do it.
I think hands the only way. Right? Whoa! Whoa!
Well, emulation right there.
And you don't need me to explain what just went wrong there. But I'm lucky. Stupidly lucky.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you should probably go light it by hand. Oh yeah, we don't want to be too close to this. 2000.
I like to build from this angle. Holy Dude, it's over 600 degrees in there. You can feel the heat from here.
Yeah, this is hot.
What the?
Gotta watch out for everything around here. I mean, we can't.
Watch out.
Yep. The energy of wood can never be underestimated.
Could we, yeah, I don't think I'm water
Yeah,
gonna do
back
anything.
off.
We call the wait, grab that, whatever that is down there.
Careful, careful. Holy, I did not think it would be that hot.
Dude,
Well, you seem to forget that wood itself has a lot of potential energy.
should we just start spraying it?
Alright, the cabin is going up quickly. It was already over 700 degrees Celsius. And it's so hot that we had absolutely no chance of putting this out, even if we wanted to. We couldn't get within 10 meters of it.
You're doing a good job.
And you know, previously when I saw the houses of celebrities and influencers burn down, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But knowing it could happen to me and seeing how hard it was to control this small burn has definitely encouraged me to get some firefighting equipment of my own.
Oh, here we go.
Which is really good that we picked a wet day with no wind, as the fire still seems contained. But if the wind picks up and these embers change direction, we could be in a lot of trouble.
Well, I think that's the worst of it.
So the first thing to go was the roof, which knocked the bathtub through the floor. And I sound like an idiot saying this, but I just couldn't believe how hot the fire was. So I'm changing my prediction. No chicken is surviving this.
Anybody who has ever been close to a wood stove will know how it feels like. And those are very much closed off, right? They emit so much heat. It's insane. I'll light it up during the winter so that it just gets filled in the rest of the rooms at home. And man, it gets sweaty. And that's a very controlled environment.
So after we let it burn for an hour, which is a much shorter time than a real house would be on fire, we started putting it out. And it wasn't looking good for the bath chickens or the fridge chickens.
Water's boiling in the left side, but
You just get
Boiled alive. Okay, well that's... I mean, I feel like we don't need to check on the chickens at this point. Like, this is a pretty certain thing here.
Well, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit dumb for ever thinking that there might be something to this video at all.
Let me get the plate in there as well. Oh,
actually looks well cooked.
It's well cooked.
that looks delicious.
But it's just
Whoa!
It tastes
It
good.
tastes like lobster.
It's so moist.
And somehow the chickens tasted amazing, even with the aftertaste of burnt towel. But before we open up the fridge and safe, we're going to wait till it cools down in the morning. And the most impressive thing about this is not the fire, but the fact that the bathtub fell through the floor and still stayed upright.
Can you imagine going to a restaurant and asking for chicken? How would you like it? I'd like to solicit an order from the chef, sending him a message of, I would like it to be house burned. What do you mean? You heard me, literally. The chef does a quick Google search and sees, oh, this dude has watched I Did a Thing, okay. He's one of those.
It still stayed upright.
How did the bathtub land exactly on its leg?
it like Looney Tuned. And also look, this is the fridge chicken.
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah, look how good that looks.
Wait, pick it up. Oh!
Carbonized.
Okay, so don't hide in the fridge.
Don't hide in the fridge.
Oh,
It actually looks pretty, almost a little bit good.
Ooh, you don't know the combination to the safe.
What? The knobs melted. That was metal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This looks delicious.
Okay, it's actually pretty good.
You can't negotiate with a fire.
You can't argue with it.
You just have to get as far away from it as possible.
The real
You know, if
question
there is actually a
was,
bushfire, the only thing to do is get out of there, because that's the only way to actually stay safe.
so the real question was, which method cooks chicken best?
But definitely chuck some chickens in the bath, as you'll have the most delicious chicken dinner to come back to.
Yeah. The channel just keeps on turning into Mythbusters, but without the safety precautions, which is surprisingly more fun than I would admit. But yeah, a fun one to check out as well. That being said, folks, thank you so much for watching this, and please do make sure to go and subscribe to I Did a Thing. And of course, if you liked the video, don't forget to like and all subscribe. We shall also have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.